Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. Ben, Happy New Year!
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, Ben. It's really good to.
2017 is going to be our year.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm praying that it is, but I know that this is going to be a transitional year too. I mean, now that you guys are on Lumberyard, it means that there's a lot of pieces that are integrated into the game that give a lot of flexibility to people like streamers.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of support with that stuff. The Lumberyard. I'm not technically minded. I understand very, very little of it, but it was one of those just fantastic partnerships that just worked out so well.
How did that come about? Like, did Amazon approach you guys, or did you see, oh, look what they're working on, and did you go to them, or was it just a chance meeting?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, it was above my pay grade, but I know, it had been going around for months and months, and we were all so excited to say it, and just we weren't allowed to until after we had actually made the change in 2.6. So it was like a big relief getting it out before the holidays, letting everybody see that. Because one of the toughest stories in gaming is when a game changes its engine, and the press can spin that in so many directions. I mean, you can go like Duke forever, having engine change after engine after engine change. So we were trying to be really careful to make sure people know it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. It's technically very much the same, but no, it was great for everybody.
Yeah, they were already starting to get on you guys about the engine change because right before Lumberyard was announced, there were a lot of changes going on, or turmoil going on over at CryEngine. So we know that Star Engine, the engine that Star Citizen uses, is based on CryEngine, just like Lumberyard was. So it actually turned out to change that whole conversation around.
Yes, I mean, and it's the same version of CryEngine that we split at the same time as they did. So it all was the stars aligning.
Okay, so I think the understanding is that Star Citizen was using Google Cloud services for a while.
We've tried a couple of different things. We had great luck with Google, and we are using AWS right now. And it seems like there's a whole lot of potential there. So we're pretty happy.
Well, they bought Twitch. Mm-hmm. So they have the they had the bandwidth before Twitch, but they have the bandwidth. My favorite part of this whole announcement is when you read deep into what Lumberyard is capable of. It really doesn't change where the production of the game was going, because Lumberyard and Star Engine are based on the same release of CryEngine.
Yeah, no need to retrain talent, no need to spend months redoing this and that. Everything just worked. It's fantastic. And Amazon's commitment it's so great. I mean, I kind of saw this at TwitchCon, just the amount of money and support they put into TwitchCon and kind of creating these gaming communities. It's exactly the same thing we want to do, and they're like they must be one of the biggest biggest companies in the U.S.
You're touching on the piece that excites me the most, because I'm a person that, I stream on Twitch, but I'm not a big streamer, but I watch a lot of them. And the tools that Amazon have built into Lumberyard for being able to throw custom overlays on, which will be built right into the engine, so that means that could be built right into Star Citizen. And the biggest tools that I like are for when you're live streaming, you can see in your chat list who has the same game that you're playing, and you could highlight them and drag them into a match with you. And I'm looking forward to that. Do you think that's something you guys will be able to implement?
I very much remember Chris talking about exactly that stuff, probably in the end of our first year, start of our second year, and it was just a matter of finding the right partner, and we were going to see some really cool stuff.
Okay. So
yes, I know that was a non-answer, but
it's a non-answer.
Lots of cool stuff to come.
Chris has stated a lot of things he wants to see in the game, and if he gets a third or even 10% of what he's envisioned, it's still going to be the best game ever.
I think the Chris Roberts experience is that he's going to fight to get everything he's dreaming of in. It'll just take more time than we want it to.
Yeah. So 2.6 drops right before the holiday, and You know,
Thank the maker.
to my surprise, I absolutely love what they've done with Arena Commander and Star Marine. Star Marine, even though I'm horrible at it, I love it.
I'm glad. You know, it's our first step out into the world. There's a lot more to come, but we're really happy with how it's gone down, and just how it came together in those last few weeks. The team, I can't praise them enough. They worked so hard to make sure we got that out before the holidays.
So production schedule now, it looks like a little bit of updating to 2.6 and then full steam ahead to 3.0?
I believe that's the plan. I don't know. If people who have been following us year after year probably know that we spend the first few weeks in January sort of doing a internal roundup. All the big wigs come together from the different studios, and the producers are all getting ready to plan out the year right now. Everybody was in Austin for a couple days. Now they're in LA right now. So for us, we're kind of in the community facing and long-term ship concept stuff. It's more of we're just grabbing people for interviews and stuff as we can. So the real work is getting done in meeting rooms here, putting together schedules and all the stuff for 2017.
All right. Are you still doing the concept verbiage for new ships in the game?
I am. We've got some cool ones this year.
This year?
This year, yes.
Some cool ones? Are we going to be seeing a number of ships like 7, 8, 9, 10?
600? No.
Wait. Don't say that. You heard it here first. Ben said the Origin 600 is coming.
I said no.
I know.
We got a whole bunch of cool ships.
But you can't use numbers that could be translated into ships, you know? People know that you drop little subtle hints. You can't do that. Hurricane? No. Okay. So what was the feedback that you have received so far on the release? I notice, just to prime this a little bit, that people are very happy with Star Marine, but there's still a lot of criticism about lag inside of the PU.
Yeah, there's still a lot of work to do on the netcode, the stuff that's out of my understanding.
Yeah.
The happiest, I'm most happy about the reaction to the flight model. I'm sure you remember all the battles early on about the flight model. Everybody had a totally opposite game, dog in the fight there, community and internally. And at the time, Chris said, no, we're just going to keep working on it. We're just going to keep working on it, and it's going to get better each time, and people will understand what I'm going for. And once we see it, we'll know. And it's been really, really cool seeing that kind of come to pass. It's not it's not the final model, but it's getting there. It's you can see the movement.
Okay, I like that, because I'm looking for our next question, because I loved, even though it wasn't real 3D space, I loved the original Wing Commander and those type of fights. Mm-hmm. The fights were kind of a puzzle where you had to be, how fast you had to kill something before you had to move on to something else. But the fights were a little bit more entangling, where you can get on somebody's tail for a while. And the fights inside of Star Citizen were tending to be more boom and zoom, where you were constantly trying to catch somebody.
And this is something that Chris went through before back at Origin. Wing Commander 1, 2, Private Year, they were that close to World War II, very cinematic dogfighting. You could watch someone play the game and it was almost just as much fun, because the dogfights looked awesome. You saw these ships close up, and they were colorful and pretty, and
right.
It just did all together. Then you did Strike Commander, and Strike Commander was, and people forget that Strike Commander was a super, super realistic jet game.
Yeah.
Which meant that you were firing missiles 5 miles away, and you never saw your target.
You saw a little puff of smoke in the distance that just fell to the ground.
And that was Chris's first 3D game with 3D vehicles. They premiered all this amazing technology on Strike Commander to make them look like nothing else anybody in gaming was doing, and no one saw it because it was a dot miles away that you blew up before you ever saw it. So figuring out the happy medium in Star Citizen has been a big deal. And yeah, I think that's one of those things that people don't necessarily think so much about is the look of the dogfight in addition to the feel. It's not as important, but it's very, very important.
Okay. I think that it does, there are people that are going to be very competitive about what it's done for their fighting. And I think that when you look beyond that and you take into consideration what you just said, being able to see the ships, being able to have those hair-raising, oh my God, I could see the guy in that canopy. I like that. It's more like a World War II fight. More like a World War II fight, which is what he has always tried to bring to us. And it's also what Star Wars does with X-Wing battles.
Very much the Star Wars. I mean, it's all kind of following Star Wars footsteps in that regard.
Yeah.
But it's also, for Star Citizen, the big thing was we never wanted to fake it. We needed a flight model that would give you this rather than we're making the game forced to be this way. And it's so cool to see that actually happening.
Okay. All right, so here's a question that you might be able to answer in concept, okay? It's from Gregory Patak. How does CIG plan to manage the play spaces in very large cities like Terra or Earth? Will it feel like a bigger play space, or will it feel like something similar to Area 18 where you're more confined?
I can tell you there's an answer to that question. It's not going to go confined, but you will have to tune into an upcoming interview with one of our programmers who's actually working on that problem. So I will dodge, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be Area 18. It's going to be. We're doing entire planets. So.
Do you get to see not giving us information, but do you get to see builds of the game that have those pieces in it at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
All sorts of cool stuff. I mean, we've so many different builds these days.
If you had to pick one of your favorite places that you've seen already, without giving away anything that's there, what place would you think is great? Would you love the most?
I don't know. That's a tough question.
Obviously, you've seen Nyx and you've seen Goss and things like that.
Well, the big ones we've been looking at are those planets that are coming together for Stanton, for 4 different environments, and then their moons. I don't know if I have a favorite yet.
Are they doing a water world for Stanton?
Water world? No, it's
okay.
There's the one that's the gas giant with like the cities and I should not be talking about any of this.
That's fine.
I know it's
That's
out there,
fine. That's fine. Okay, I understand. People can be like, "Damn it, Nicole, you should have pressed him some more." I'm really excited about the news on Netcode Improvements. Do you have any, and this is from Michael Breton, do you have any little tidbits that you could share with us?
Just that it's a long slog and we're going to keep improving. There definitely are some improvements this time around, and I've seen a lot of the tech they're working on for future stuff that's coming together well, but that is so much outside I don't understand how things work.
Okay, but you do understand that is it safe to assume that CIG is working with Amazon on those fixes?
It depends on the cause of the issues. I mean, a lot of the stuff is internal to the client, which should not be Amazon. Amazon provides more of the server for us to work with, and it's more us than Amazon at this point.
All right. This is probably another question that you'll probably have to direct me to the right place to ask it, but
Tony's there.
Yeah, right. There's been some hacks that people could do to play the game in offline mode, the PU version, and not to play it for any other reason, but to actually be able to do the missions in a playable frame rate. Do you think that's something that they can give us so we can help to improve the design, the design of the missions, while the netcode isn't so tight?
It would. I mean, I could see a situation where that would happen, but not necessarily right now. And to be honest, one of the community is especially useful for feedback about the netcode much more than it is about the design of a mission. because kind of QA testing and mission design that's kind of the traditional fun QA idea, the one that you sort of imagine, oh, this is what QA guys do, which also means it's one of the easiest things to do. It's all that broad, here, take the game and break it, that we're learning from the community. But I can definitely see situations where we might have some, hey, we're going to make this ship invulnerable until you can test this in the future, which with updates to the patcher is something we can do more.
Oh, awesome. Oh, God, you just totally blew me away with that, because that would be cool. And I forgot where I was going with the next one.
I think we had a couple of times we've done that before where it was like, oh, we're not sure about these guns, so we're issuing one to all the PETO accounts or stuff like that.
I know what it is. It's in the beginning, there was a lot of talk about private servers. Freelancer still exists today, primarily with the addition of private servers, and so does even Privateer, right? How committed is CIG to bringing private servers support into the game still? And do you think it's going to be as big as it was for something like those other two games?
Well, Privateer didn't have a server. Privateer was also co-players. I know servers there.
Yeah.
Freelancer, I mean, yes, we're still doing the private server stuff. All that is, again, outside of my experience, because I am no net guy. I do kind of personally suspect that Freelancer existed at a very specific point in time where it sort of offered the same concept as like Quake 2, but a little bit more. It was like having a mini Ultima Online that you kind of had yourself. And while there's certainly a call for that today, sort of the scale is different. I don't know if there are that many people who will say, oh, I'm going to play on the server with 2 people instead of the giant massive living one with millions. But it'll be interesting to see.
It could be there may be a way you can implement what they did over at Frontier with Elite Dangerous, where you can play in a private group, which is still on the same server, but nobody sees you.
Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of options like that for folks in the Persistent universe, but I don't think any plan to step back from everything we've talked about in the past either.
All right. So what has the feedback on the Caterpillar? I could give you my feedback, but I'll let you hear it.
Everyone loves the Caterpillar.
Yeah. Have you watched any of the videos of like kind of Star Marine-esque playthrough on the Caterpillar?
Oh, there have been some great Caterpillar videos. The one where they go into Quantum with the Merlins on the doors. You seen that one?
No, I guess I have to look that one up.
That video blew everyone's minds here because we could not figure out why it worked. There was somebody shared it in the morning, and there was just this whole like, oh my god, how are they doing that? It's not supposed to work yet. So that was cool. Pretty awesome. There's the missile shooting through the Caterpillar. Did you see that one?
Yep.
It's so cool because, when we started this out, everybody was like, oh, how are they going to get all these things together? And Chris would always say it's about creating this foundation. That's the hard part. Once we get that in, everything else is gravy. And it's true. Now that we have this, the physics working and the multi-crew ships coming together in, systemically, stuff like that just works. And it's so cool to see it happen. It's so cool to see the community discover it instead of us. It would be so easy from a game design standpoint to say, oh, we need missiles to fly through the Caterpillar. Well, we'll just cheat. And we didn't. And it's paying off.
All right. Well, that is cool. Samwise Corbin wants to know what's going to go on with the Redeemer now that Paul Delassie is not with the CIG anymore.
And it won't affect the Redeemer. I can't talk about who's doing what in that regard, but it's not like we would get rid of the Redeemer for any reason. It'll still get its flight update no matter who does it.
All right.
I don't know more personally, so I can't say what.
I mean, you guys have a lot of people that work on ships. Even when David Hobbins went off to work on Star Wars, there were people that picked up his pen and completed some of his projects, right?
Oh,
now he's back doing stuff, right?
No, he's not with us right now.
Oh,
He'll occasionally do contract stuff. But yeah. I mean, there are people who are, the father of a particular ship. And it's always sad when friends leave. But Gerbach was, did so much on the Carrack. It would have been great to have him finish it out, but he got a better, cooler job, and somebody else will do it. So when folks move on, it's no impact to the ships themselves. We will treat them with as much love and affection as we possibly can.
all right. Maybe you can help me with this one. This is another one from Gregory Patak, and it's, will we get news about the Origin multi-cruise ship in the near future, or is that in the distant future?
That's a leading question. What Origin multi-cruise ships? You're going to be hearing about a bunch of ships for 2017 over the next short period of time.
Short period of time, okay.
But it's going to be like any other concept ships. You'll hear about one, and we'll go to another one as they're ready.
All right, can we please get updated engineer? Okay, so the comlinks, the engineering comlinks, are there going to be updates coming to them in the future?
Engineering comments like the
A mechanic, the explanations on game mechanics. Most of the information about the game is from years ago, and it's now outdated.
Yeah, we are working on several levels of website revamp. The first one is kind of stuff like that, looking for a low-hanging fruit that we can fix up right now.
Okay.
As for short answer, yes. Long answer, over time.
Okay. So when Spectrum is implemented, how is that going to help CIG support, like the community team?
Oh, so Spectrum is going to be fantastic, and we're already seeing this in the test, that it ties everything together into our ecosystem. Like most companies, we use a variation of someone's XMPP chat. We use a forum software called Vanilla that we plugged into our site, and none of that talks to the game in any way. It's purely here's our forum, here's a chat, here's the orgs module we built ourselves. Now everything is kind of in one unifying cluster where. How about the best way to explain it? So if Spectrum is Spectrum in the game or on the website, and it means one change to the Spectrum system applies everywhere. One enhancement adds things everywhere. It's going to let us build parts of the game earlier. It's going to let us stand up for the community better, because we've got all these new ways to live chat and how we post things on the forum, Spectrum forums. It's good.
All right. Now, people are going to be inquiring about this year's schedule of, are we going to see 10 for the Chairmans? When are we going to see new shows coming out from CIG? There's been some announcements. We know that Reverse the Verse is gone.
No, it's not really gone. It's just they're going to play the game at the same time or something. But I would stay tuned. They've got a whole set of new shows they're working on. It's some of the coolest stuff we've done. You'll see more in the next 2 or 3 weeks as we get rolling again. There's nothing to be disappointed about. I know that when news first comes out, when people try to divine a larger plan from one forum post or something, it becomes. What is this going to be? What is this going to be? And you tend, but it's all going to be good. Wait and see. There's also stuff coming.
All right. So, are you shocked to find that there's a large number of people that are demanding that you come back onto the shows?
I am, because I'm not that good.
Yeah. Well, I think you are. I think that they miss seeing you online. So it is cool seeing a bunch of other people, but people want to see your face. You're the face, one of the original faces of the game, and they'd love to see you back online again,
I will be making some appearances, not hosting a show or anything like that, it's just you're hosting a show right now. But
yeah, yep.
You'll see me in the next in the coming weeks.
Okay.
In fact, I shot a bit for one of our pilots yesterday.
Oh, awesome. That will be wonderful. I can't wait. Because it's like this week was like last week I think we got a Bug Smashers and a lore. And this week we got a lore and I think we got a Bug Smashers? I'm not sure.
We got an ATV came out today.
Oh, I didn't get to see that yet.
It's a special one. It's about the Vandal languages. We brought in Britton, our contract guy who came up with the alien languages.
Okay.
Shows you how to write in Vandal and speak. It's a good one.
Oh, great. There goes Vandal Veronica. I've been working on my own thing. I got our famous chef, Renegade Shank, to take some pictures of himself in front of a green screen. And I'm going to try to put together a Renegade Shank's gourmet space paste with the new Bacon flavor commercial for one of your community shows. All right, so before we go, there's what kind of event schedule is there this year? Do you know that yet, or do we have to wait for Sandy to announce those?
Well, that's one of the things we're working on this week. I know we're hitting a lot of the same ones as previous years. People can probably figure out from there. I know I'm doing Dragon Con this year, so everybody head to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Your tickets. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be the biggest.
Drum circle.
It's going to be the largest Stormtrooper parade this year because of last year's movie and this year's movie, and because of Carrie Fisher dying. So don't schedule anything during the parade.
I was in the very first Dragon Con parade. I think it was in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
I wore a latex cat mask and a Wing Commander outfit. I was Hobbs. I had a tail, too. So people out there who like to embarrass me on the internet, I'm sure there are pictures.
Okay, so that would be cool. When we get to Dragon Con this year, we're going to have to see if we can get a costume contest together.
Or if somebody, you see such amazing, the people who replicate our armor exactly, one of you guys could make it into that big Dragon Con costume contest. It'd be pretty cool.
We could try to see that. Now you know what's going to come up is a whole bunch of questions for Sandy and Alexis about the cosplay kits. So I'm going to have to go grab your wife and have a sit-down interview with her and talk to her about the things that people are looking for.
Good. I'm sure she'd be happy too.
Yeah, we all love her. She's awesome. All right, Ben. Well, I'm going to let you go, and hopefully there's good news for us next week or the week after on an update. So
there's always news.
There's always news. There's news.
We're on the way.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining me, and for the rest of you...
Good to see you again.
Thank you. And for the rest of you, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon, if I live through this flu. Bye.